On the news tonight, Senate resolved to fast-track the National Summit on Security. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, inaugurates Inter-Ministerial Committee on the Democracy Day. A pleasant good evening to you and welcome to the 7 p.m. news coming to you from Heritage Station. I am Fatima Hassan. Thank you for joining us today. Senate has reconvened plenary expressing hope that those abducted during the attack on a school in Oyo State will soon be rescued by security operatives as it's resolved to fast-track its National Summit on Insecurity. While mourning the death of some of the victims, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, challenged the nation to unite against insecurity and urged lawmakers to support measures to protect schools and community. A minute silence was observed in honor of the victims.
Their sorrow is our sorrow. Their pain is our pain. Yet, even in the midst of grief, we remain hopeful that through the determined efforts of this government and our President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our security system, our agencies, are doing their best to ensure that those in captivity are rescued safely and reunited with their loved ones. And so I want to commend the security services.
Meanwhile, alarmed by mounting threats to the safety of pupils and learning environment, the House of Representatives has issued an urgent call to government at all levels to urgently activate a fully functional safe school framework nationwide. This follows two motions in reaction to the recent abduction of school children and their teachers in Borno and Oyo State. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Wanko has more.
Members of the House of Representatives are back to the chamber after 26 days of break that saw them return with a mix of smiles, fatigue, and unreadable expressions that hinted at what could be called political battles just concluded back home. Legislative business took off with a renewed concern for national security, particularly security in schools. Usman Balami from Borno State and Ayodeji Alawakala from Oyo State presented two worrisome incidents in their constituencies. They called for a swift and collective rescue mission.
Urge the federal government and all relevant security agencies to take immediate and decisive action to rescue the 42 adopted school children from Musa Ward, Askira Uba local government area, as well as other persons currently held in captivity, and reunite them with their families. The House is deeply disturbed by the barbaric execution of Mr. Michael Oyedoku, a mathematics teacher who was beheaded in captivity, and the executive arm must, without further excuse or delay, commence full implementation of this House-adopted resolution on a decentralized and regional security architecture. The need for the federal government of Nigeria to create a special force, a special security architecture specifically designed for the school system. We have no argument we should be talking about today except allowing state governors, to invest on this state policing of our various community.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. That is it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Defense, Interior, Police Affairs and National Security for further legislative action.
Chairman House Committee on Infectious Diseases, Amo Bioga, raises alarm on the urgent need to strengthen the nation's surveillance system against the Ebola virus, calling for increased funding for the Nigeria Center for Disease Control to boost preparedness and rapid response capabilities.
If urgent, appropriate funding for the center is not immediately met, the strength and capacity of the NCDC to adequately respond to the resurfacing Ebola threat and other epidemic-prone diseases cannot be assured.
Defections continued after party primaries. 13 members voiced out their grievances as they switched political parties. Kingsley Chinda from Rivers State resigned as minority leader of the House. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In preparation for the forthcoming Democracy Day celebration, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Judge Akume, has inaugurated the 27th Democracy Day Inter-Ministerial Committee. At the ceremony in Abuja, the SJF highlighted the key event to mark the day that will be in honor of the resilience, courage, and determination of Nigerians who have sacrificed gracefully in the struggle for democratic governance in the country. The heroism of those who championed the June 12, 1993 mandate and the ultimate sacrifice of Chief MKO Abiola, whose struggle gave birth to the recognition of this day. The committee will be chaired by the SJF, while heads of subcommittees include the Ministers of Information and National Orientation, Interior, Health, Foreign Affairs, Finance, Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy, Defense, and Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, among others.
Today, the democratic values institution will continue to build and strengthen as a nation rests on the foundation laid by these patriots and democrats. The celebration, therefore, presents this government with an opportunity to demonstrate to Nigeria the progress recorded within its period in office to consolidate democracy. Web press conference, which will take place on the 4th of June on Thursday, 2026. Special Jumai prayers, Friday, 5th June. Special interdenominational church service, Sunday, 7th June. Democracy Day lecture, Tuesday, 9th of June. Youth and women-oriented programs will take place on the 10th of June. Presidential broadcast, Friday, 12th of June. On this note, it is my honor to formally inaugurate the 27th Democracy Day Celebration Inter-Ministerial Committee.
We do this celebration in remembrance of the sacrifices of all the heroes of June 12. And today we have inaugurated this committee to take care of various aspects of this celebration.
The IGP Special Tactical Squad of the Federal Intelligence Department has arrested one of the notorious syndicates of armed robbery and one-chance kidnappers specialized in terrorizing and killing their ransomed victims across the FCT. The syndicate was behind the killing of a nurse along the Kobwa Expressway sometime in January 2025. Among others, commander of the squad, ACP Victor Godfrey, says the team tracked the suspect through digitally coordinated operations for over a year and 6 months. Onoto Yakubu reports.
January 3rd, 2026 remains indelible in the life of families of Nurse Chinemerem Pascalina. So is that of Chinenye Bridget Okorobia. The syndicate allegedly also murdered and threw her body under the Katampe Bridge, Kubwa Expressway, after collecting 3.5 million naira from her family sometimes in February. The police calls this the day of reckoning, as the syndicate demonstrates their mode of operation and how they usually render their victims demobilized, defenseless, and torture them in the vehicles to prompt quick response to their demands.
So when we see the lady standing at the road, that person will come down to go and stand with the lady. Yes. So once he said Jabi, and you said okay, and Joseph in park, he enter. The lady will also enter. Then we'll go. So someone watch his back, on his AC, and they wind up his glass. They are tinted glass, and they're on child lock. So once they enter, that person is already at the back, me at the front. We'll hold the lady, knife will be at the front seat with me. Then I'll bring out the knife and tell the person to either cooperate. That's money that we need. So we use this cord to tie the person's hand. We use the scarf to tie the person's eye. Then we collect the bag, give to the server at the front seats, everything we see inside. So we'll check their phones, the money they have. If they don't have money, they'll call their maybe friends or their family. They'll send money to their accounts. Then we drop them and go and withdraw.
Issa Ahoiza Sabda lost 11.5 million naira
and other valuables to the group amidst relentless all-night torture.
I can't see very well.
After the encounter with your eye?
I can't really see anything very well. I rarely see colors, alphabets. At a point, the first few weeks, I can't see anything close to me.
I was so excited and I couldn't wait to get here.
STS, IGP STS team, they've been wonderful. They've shown courage, they've shown discipline, they've shown professionalism. And I think that there is a lot of emphasis on what the police is getting wrongly. But when they've also done something right, we must commend them so that they are encouraged and further motivated to do a lot more. And I commend them, and I know that Nigerians, at least, residents of the FCT, can sleep with eyes closed.
Commander of the Special Tactical Squad explained that the suspects, while under his team's watch, constantly changed vehicles and places of residence before they were eventually apprehended at a military estate located at Karishi.
He probably boasted that nobody can arrest him, except that any person that can arrest him must be a dead person, so which means nobody can arrest him. But we tell him that the only person we cannot arrest is only God. So after much of operations, he was picked like a rat, because nobody can do this to Nigerians, and where we are as police, we are like to continue. So today, FCT, I'm sure, will be at peace.
While urging security consciousness among citizens, the STS pledged commitment to such aggressive operations against all forms of criminality across the nation. Nta Ijebu, NTA News.
We'll be right back after the break. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. Still basking in the euphoria of Ojúde Ọba 2026 festival celebration, Ẹgbẹ́ Arọ́bayọ̀ Obìnrin Aṣíwájú Akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú has celebrated 1-year anniversary of the association in a grand style. Anthony Ganduna reported that the 1-year celebration of the association also falls on the birthday of one of the members. His report.
The convergence by the Ẹgbẹ́ Arọ́bayọ̀ Obìnrin Aṣíwájú Akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú, the Rẹ́gbẹ́rẹ́gbẹ́ age group between 1968, 1969 and 1970, otherwise known as the last born, was to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the group. It is a period to come together to thank God for his protection over members of the Ẹgbẹ́ in the past years, as well as wine and dine after the Ojúde Ọba 2026 festival. Members of the group, including the Yalode Egbe, Mrs. Taibat Omowumi, popularly known as Oman's London, and the patron of the group, Ambassador Olusegun Oludayo, while sharing their thoughts, said the Ẹgbẹ́ Arọ́bayọ̀ Obìnrin Aṣíwájú Akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú was established to promote rich culture and tradition of Ìjẹ̀bú people, as well as unite members together.
I am the Yalode Ẹgbẹ́ Arọ́bayọ̀ Obìnrin Aṣíwájú Akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú. The age 68 to 1970.
Basically, why we are here today is actually to appreciate God Almighty because the association, that's the Ẹgbẹ́ Arọ́bayọ̀ Obìnrin Aṣíwájú Akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú, is 1 year old exactly today.
Then today we are doing our first year anniversary. We give God all the glory, all the adoration. It is not by our might, it's not by our power, but it's by the special grace of God that makes this today to be favorable, to be fruitful.
We are 1 year today. So we are doing our anniversary today, 1 year anniversary.
In the spirit of love and unity, the group also rejoices with one of them whose birthday falls on the 1 year anniversary day of the Egbe. Dignitaries present at the event including Olu of Agbegishe, Oba Joseph Shomade and other prominent personalities. In Ijebu Ode, Anthony Gandonu, NTA News.
We apologize for the technical glitch. A digital advisory platform designed to deliver climate-smart information to smallholder farmers is being scaled to reach more climate-impacted communities in northern Nigeria. The initiative, driven by Precision Development and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, already has about 20,000 farmers benefiting. Charles Alpha reports.
Farmers in Nigeria continue to face major challenges, especially limited access to timely and reliable extension service on improved seed use, fertilizer application, pest control, and weed management, leading to low yields and reduced productivity. These challenges are worsened by climate change, with unpredictable rainfall and shifting seasons. The digital precision agricultural extension platform being transitioned to governments by the Agro-Climatic Resilient in Semi-Arid Landscapes, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Precision Development, and the World Bank directly addresses these gaps.
Information is sent to the mobile phones of farmers, which will improve the way they plant in terms of how they plant, what to plant, how they apply water, how they apply fertilizer, and the likes. And it's really been done very well.
This information that can improve their lives at the critical moments when they need it. You know, the moment when the rains come, the moment when a pest or disease outbreak happens, the moment when there's a flood or a drought coming.
With Precision Development, it launched a Hausa voice-based digital platform for agricultural extension that delivered climate-smart farming advice to 20,000 farmers across 8 states in a 2025 pilot.
We are getting to mobilize our staff to learn what has been built so that they can operate and it can be Nigeria ownership.
Built under a build, operate, transfer model, the platform is now being handed over to the federal government. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And that completes our news for tonight. Join us tomorrow for more interesting stories. Have a wonderful night rest. Bye.